Thanks for coming in today, everybody. Good fixins. Thank you for coming in today. Good to see you, sir. I'm mostly better, chat. Mostly better. I'm feeling great, actually. Thank God. It's been a while since I felt good. Okay. We are in the voluptuous DC-3, courtesy of PMDG in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. And we're going to see if we can't figure out and get a flight done in this thing. I've done a few off stream, chat. They've been okay at best. So yeah, and I decided, you know what, screw it, we're gonna go right on to VATSIM. So we're on VATSIM. So yeah, should make things a little bit more interesting, I suppose. Go right into the VATSIM thing with this. Of course, New York Center just signed offline. Buttholes. I was gonna give them some traffic, and then they signed off. So I don't have any ATC out of Stewart now, but I should have ATC going into Nantucket, courtesy of Boston Center. I'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's go ahead and get this started. You guys are gonna be hearing a lot from this artificial flight engineer because there's no way I can fly this thing without it. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest, chat. There's no way I'm going to be able to fly this DC-6 without using the artificial flight engineer. But let's go ahead and start the process before start.
Cockpit pre-flight.
Let the artificial flight engineer do a bunch of things. Run his checklist.
Tasted. Oil coolers and cow flaps.
Thanks for coming today, Kitty Monster.
Fuel and fluids. Checked. Pressurization. Set. Manifold and duct pressure. Checked. Radios.
We are in the slant whiskey version of this airplane with a little GPS action. And I will not be judged. This thing is difficult. So do not judge me, chat.
Closed. Door warning lights. Out. Gear pins. Removed. 3 on board. Seat belts and pedals. Adjusted. Throttles. Set to idle. Propellers. Forward and 3. Before start checks complete. Start engines.
Alright, so we got the before start check is complete, chat. Courtesy of the artificial flight engineer. So now we're going to start the engine. So we actually have to do the engine starting sequence manually here. So let me go ahead and do that. So the first thing we need to do, he's pretty much set up engine 3 for us. So now we just have to, I have to remember what to do. Okay, the mixture's up. The igniters are up here. He's got the boosters on, hang on. The cameras don't do you justice sometimes on this. He's got the booster on low here. So we should be able to start engine 3. So 3, 4, 2, 1 is the sequence that you're supposed to start the engine, chat. So let's see if we can get this going.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Alright, so that's the engine number 3. So now we got to come down here, get the mixture up for engine 4, come up here, go to engine 4, get the boost pump to low, and start engine 4.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Okay, so we got 2 of the engines started. Now we start engine 2.
Three, 6, 9, 12.
And we got 1 more engine to start here, chat.
Three, 6, 9, 12.
Alright, 4 good engine starts. How about that? Big beefy radials, chat. Oh yeah. Oh, baby. After start checklist, please.
Start selected boost pumps. Off and off. Battery switch. Plane battery. Generators and inverters. Checked and on. Emergency lights. Armed. Ground tower. Removed. Off to start checks complete.
Alright, we've got the airplane started. Look at that. Alright, now we have to put in our flight plan. And again, since we don't have any center anymore, we're just kind of on our own. So I'm just going to give myself as filed, which is the preferred route anyway, so we're good, chat. This is the preferred routing that I'm going to be doing. Get myself on a Unicom here. Alright, so my flight plan is going to be from, and this is going to take a while to plug in. This is the part that I don't like about this, is the Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 freaking GPS is horrible. It's going to take me probably like 45 minutes just to get this flight plan in, chat. Not really, but it's going to take a hot minute. So there's KSWF to start, and then I'm going to show you guys the route on SkyVector, and then I'm going to plug the rest of it in. Okay. So here we go. On SkyVector, doink, here we go. We're going to go from Stewart to Nantucket. We got Powling, Hartford, Victor 58, to the Newbie intersection, to Depot, and then direct. It's actually a little bit of low weather over there at Nantucket. Perfect. Give us more of a challenge. So this is the route that I'm going to be putting in here for the flight. So we're going to go from Stewart, we said, to Powling, which is PWL. PWL. And then from Powling, we're going to go to Hartford, which is HFD. Then we're going to go to, it's the Groton VOR is first, which is GON on that Victor Airway. You can't load the Victor Airways on here, which is stupid. But, so we got GON, which is Groton. G-O-N. And it's VOR K6. Oh, there we go. Then we have, after Groton, it's going to be the Sandy Point, which is S-E-Y VOR. S-E-Y. And I'm not looking at the chat right now, chat, so just hang with me if you are typing. I'll get to you guys in a second. S-E-Y. And then we have Newbie, the intersection Newbie, which is N-E-W-B-E. N-E-W. B. E. And then Depot, which is D. Okay. D. E. E. P. O. Then our destination in Nantucket. KACK. Kilo Alpha Charlie Kilo. What a pain in the butt that was, but the flight plan is in. Okay. Now I can look at chat. What do we got here? I was kind of bummed last night. I flew out of BWI with the Slant Alpha and was looking forward to a full ATC to LaGuardia, but New York Center approach dropped off just before I got. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. New York be like that sometimes. New York be like that sometimes. Oh yeah, it's a loud bird. Oh, soak it in. I just picked this livery because I like it. I'm not actually flying American Airlines call sign. I'm just going to be November 124 Mike Charlie. Just like I usually am. Looks like we're going to have to back up. We can't taxi forward, really. We're going to have to back up to taxi out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first remove the gust lock. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to remove the parking brake. And I'm going to put us in reverse. And we're going to back up. And the orange lights mean we're in reverse. Look at that. A little power back operation on this baby. Put it into idle. It goes back to being a forward moving airplane. Careful on the brakes so that we don't strike the tail. And again, since ATC is offline, we're just going to taxi out on our own. The weather at Stewart is favoring the runway 27. So we're going to taxi to runway 27. Stewart traffic, Douglas 124 Mike Charlie, taxi to runway 27. This is Stewart traffic. I know this airport like the back of my hand, so it'll be a nice, easy taxi. Rob Valkyrie, thanks for coming in today. Good to see you, sir. It's a great livery I have for the 727, the Astrojet. You know, they have an American Airlines airplane, a Boeing 737 with the Astrojet colors in real life. That's really sweet. I've seen it in person before. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, we are taxiing on out. We're going to go to runway 27 here at Stewart, so this is going to be a somewhat lengthy taxi. You can see all the little bumps in the taxiways as we're moving along here in our big old DC-6. Big old beefy girl. Again, this flight should be entertaining because I have done 3 test flights, chat. 3. So this is only my 4th time flying it. And I crashed the second one. I did fine on the first one. I crashed on the second one, but I did not do good on the third. I did good on the third flight, but the second flight I crashed. So we're gonna see. Right now, I'm 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but this is the first time I'm streaming it. First time I'm using it on VATSIM, and yeah, we'll see just if I can get it done. Should be an entertaining ordeal for you guys. I think there's about a 50% chance of me crashing tonight. So get that, yeah, there you go. Get the crash emoji ready. You got about a 50% chance of me blowing it tonight, chat. Snow Skier, thanks for coming in today. Stewart traffic, Douglas 124, my Charlie's crossing runway 1634, Stewart traffic. We'll do the before takeoff here in a second with our artificial flight engineer. Again, I'm going to be using the artificial flight engineer. There's no way I can do it without it. And I'm also not going to be as crazy as I know Rob Shearman is, Slant Alpha Adventures. He's going to go and read that whole 330-page manual and figure out how to do this all on his own. So he is a crazy SOB. It's probably why he also gets more viewers on Twitch than me, though. Let's be honest, chat. He actually puts in the work and the effort to be an entertainer. I'm just like, hi, hit the live button. Here I am. Enjoy. Sometimes. Sometimes I try to teach, but... if you guys haven't figured out already, I'm really good at talking crap to myself. Alright, so in just a second, we're going to go ahead and hold short of the runway here. We're going to put the parking brake on, and we're going to go through before takeoff. Check here. We're going to let the artificial flight engineer do his thing. Right here is good. So let me set that parking brake, and we'll do before takeoff.
Boost pumps. Boost pumps on low. Fuel selector and crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed off. Autopilot and carb heat. Off and cold. Hydraulic system. Down, forward, pressure and quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20.
Really even set the flaps for me, chat. Look at that.
Flaps set to 20. Windows and turbine. Closed and on. Controls. Gust lock released. Free. Pitter on. Mixture and cowl flaps. Reach and locked. Set. Transponder.
Even turn the transponder on for you, chat. It's pretty wild.
Landing lights.
Landing lights. We're going to extend them and turn them on. Artificial flight engineer does a lot of the work for us.
Before takeoff checks complete.
Alright, so before takeoff checks complete, now comes the fun part, chat. Let's do a takeoff. You just make sure ATC hasn't popped itself on. It has not. Stewart traffic, Douglas 124 Mike Charlie is departing runway 27. It'll be a right turn to the northeast. Stewart traffic. God help us all, chat. Get her lined up, and then we will set the parking brake, and we're going to do a dry takeoff because we have a long runway. We got to do a few things first here. We're going to set the parking brake, and then I'm going to figure out what my weight is. My weight is 80,000 pounds. So I'm going to come up here to the placard. If I can get a view on it. That's the only thing about the camera in VATSIM 2020 is it makes it hard to get a view of the frickin' placard. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay. But the read it sideways, chat. Takeoff 20. We're at 80,000 pounds. Looks like V1 is going to be 83. V2 is going to be 101. So -5 off of V2 is going to be... what was at 96, so about 96 knots is what we're looking at for the takeoff speed. Okay. Let's do the takeoff. And again, we're going to watch as the artificial flight engineer does the takeoff pretty much for us here.
Stabilize. 30 inches, stabilize.
So he's going to roll up the manifold pressure to 30. That flight sim dude, thanks for coming in today.
30 inches, stabilized. Kill flaps. Kill flaps. Kill flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power.
At this point, I'll take the partner brake off, use the brakes on my own. He's going to set full power, which is going to be 53 on the manifold.
Full power set.
And away we go. Get out of the way, truck! And we were looking at about 94. NYARTCC controller, thanks for coming in today for our rotation speed today. 94. Right about here. She should want to go. You only need to get the nose up a couple degrees, and away she goes. Positive rate. We'll get the gear up.
Positive rate, gear up. Gear selected up.
And we're trying to accelerate this thing now to about 162 knots.
Lights up, flaps up. Flaps going up.
162 knots is going to be the climb speed that we want, roughly, initially on the takeoff here. So she's a very shallow climber to start until we can get up to speed. And then once we get her up to speed, then we're able to climb her a little bit more aggressively. So right about here, now we should be able to pitch the nose up a little bit more, start to climb out a little bit more aggressively.
Setting meter power, 48 inches, 2600 RPM.
And the artificial flight engineer is helping to set the powers and the speeds for us so that we can get ourselves on our merry way. So he's adjusting the manifold pressure and the RPM.
Meter power set. Climb power.
I'm going to start a right turn to go direct to Powling. Stewart traffic, Douglas 124, my Charlie's departing the area to the northeast. Stewart traffic. So he's got the manifold pressure and the RPM is all set.
Climb power set. After takeoff checklist, please.
And now we'll do the after takeoff checklist. He'll do that on his own.
After takeoff checks complete.
All right. So now what I'm going to do here, chat, is I'm going to get the Gyro Pilot on in just a second. I'm going to kind of get myself stabilized here in the turn towards Powling. And then we're going to get the Gyro Pilot to come on, which is essentially the Autopilot, and we're going to do some work from there. So for right now, I am still hand flying this baby. As we're climbing and turning, cranking and banking. Look at her go. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely something different for me, but I'm enjoying it, that flight sim, dude. Alright, so this is a roughly... This will get us started going to the direction we're going to need to go right about here. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this Gyro Pilot on. So we'll click that guy. We'll get the Autopilot on. So now the airplane is just going to fly straight and level with the way we have her set right now, even with the climb. We got the little trim thing here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get us to start going direct to Powling. Get that into GPS mode right there. We'll go direct to Powling. We're going to enter that. We're going to activate that. And so now we can put this into localizer mode right here, and that's going to track our GPS, and that's how we're going to fly this on the Autopilot. Just like that. So now she'll follow the flight plan that we have put in. She'll follow our GPS right there. And we're going to climb up. We're climbing up to 10,000 feet is our cruise altitude. So we're going to keep letting her climb the way she is, all nice and pretty. Right at about 160 knots. We don't want to go too slow or much slower than that. So I'm actually going to lower the nose for her a little bit here. Our artificial flight engineer is going to be constantly adjusting our manifold pressure to maintain that 40 inches. So that way, even though we go up in altitude and lose air pressure, we're still getting the amount of power that we need for our climb. And again, we'll keep an eye on our altimeter. Once we get close to 10,000 feet, we're going to use this wheel to reduce our pitch on the Gyro Pilot to get it to about only 100, 200 feet per minute climb once we're getting really close. And then we will put on the altitude control. And that will hold us level at an altitude. And that's how the autopilot works on this thing. Very crude and simple, but very, very effective. Let's lower that nose a little bit. Try and keep her speed around 162. At some point, I'm assuming we're going to get a contact me from Boston Center, because he's going to be controlling us after we get to a certain point. Boston Center, Douglas 124, Mike Charlie.
124, Mike Charlie, boss.
Boston Center, Douglas 124, Mike Charlie. 6,800 climbing. About 21 miles to the southwest of the Powling intersection.
Number 124, Mike Charlie, Boston Center, squawk 47112.
Squawk 4711, and we'd like to pick up the IFR to Nantucket, please.
Report my Charlie, Roger. Number 4, my Charlie, radar contact 5 miles west of Kingston, cleared to the Nantucket Airport. Present position, direct Hartford, then as filed, climb and maintain 10,000.
Direct Hartford 10,000, Douglas 124, Mike Charlie.
Number 4, Mike Charlie, this is Stewart, altimeter 3030, more than 1 hour old.
4 Mike Charlie. So we'll go direct to Hartford. We'll enter that, and again, the airplane now, since it's following the GPS, look at that, she'll turn on a dime. Say goodbye to the Hudson Valley, my home. Climbing through 8,500, so we're going to keep an eye on that altitude, and we're going to reduce it down. Reduce it down to a lower climb rate as we get close to our 10,000 feet. Bit surprised you bought this one. I thought it might be too far from GA. Well, I wanted to try something new. And we can still use it as a GA aircraft just like we are right now. We're still using our 124 Mike Charlie. So we'll use it for GA purposes almost more than commercial airliner purposes. Yeah, definitely it was time I tried something a little bit out of my comfort zone. Tried something a little different. So that's kind of what we're doing here. We're using something that is out of my comfort zone.
At a 10:35, after Ponset, proceed direct to on deck. That's Oscar.
And you'll see that I'm not going to get super hardcore into the different systems. I didn't do like a full run-up test or anything like that, so I'm still going to treat this just like a simple plug-and-play, get in and fly kind of aircraft. I'm sure guys like I said, guys like Slan Alpha and those guys, they're going to be really getting like into the nitty-gritty, super deep into it, and really, really like chugging along with every single little step, going through the manual and doing like a full-on thing. So those are the guys to watch to really get like the full-on. We're going to put the altitude control on right here at our 10,000 feet, right about meow. But again, those are the guys that you're going to really want to go and tune into when they start plugging along with it, because they're going to be going like full bore, hardcore into the systems, into everything and all that. So for now, we are just sticking with you know, a little bit of plug and play here. We're going to go ahead and do our cruise check now. So he's going to set our cruise power, so you're going to see manifold pressure changing. RPM is changing. Fuel flow is reduced. Save that gas.
427, turn 30 degrees right, back to the traffic. 30 degrees to the right, GPS 427. West of 3043, fly heading 270, back to the traffic.
And now we're cruising.
American 4649.
And the artificial flight engineer just took care of our cruise checks. So we're moving right along, cruising.
American 4649.
Looks like we're going to be doing about 210 knots indicated. About 210 indicated.
GPS 427.
She
traffic.
is not a fast girl.
9 o'clock, 6 miles. Westbound.
She's a bit on the slow side there, Chad.
Yep, we got that traffic in sight. GPS 427.
We'll be cruising along at 10,000 feet here, nice and slow at
3043, heading 270.
Hi, Delilah.
Fly runway heading with
I got the American Airlines Air Freight livery on it. Again, I'm not flying as American Airlines cargo or anything like that. I'm still using my 124 Mike Charlie. I just like the way that this livery looked specifically. So I like the orange, chat. I'm a big fan of color orange. So for me, this just made the most sense to go with this color set. And you know what? It's really just, this airplane's a little bit too loud for music, so I'm going to turn the music off. There's no point. We're just going to go raw sound tonight. As we cruise along into the Connecticut area. We're definitely in the state of Connecticut right now. Going towards Hartford. Eventually going towards Nantucket. We got clear weather over here, but when we get closer to Nantucket, real world, it's looking like they've got a little bit of potential rain moving through here, a little bit of a low visibility. We'll see if the sim actually shows me that. I do have the Rex weather force going, so hopefully it'll actually work like it should. But for now, we got clear skies. And we'll have clear skies all the way until pretty much we get to Groton. Couldn't hear you? Yeah. Let's go into the showcase cam. There's a couple of good external wing views that I like this right here. We'll roll with this guy for a little bit. You're going to hear a lot of engine noise in your right ear.
6 miles from Baldy, maintain 2000 until established, clear high left, turning 15 right approach.
Now you're left ear.
With Zone 20, heading 180 to normal localizer, maintain 2000 until established.
Big beefy radials, chat. Definitely a lot quieter in the cockpit. Those radial engines make noise. Well, I haven't crashed yet, so that's good. Like I said, we still have a 50% chance of it happening. I still gotta worry about the descent and then an approach into Nantucket, most likely an ILS approach now, with the weather being a little bit low over there, so. God, it's so loud that my,
you gave us clearance to 0.79 Mach.
I'm aware, but if I did restrict your speed at all, what Mach number would you fly?
This plane is so loud that you can barely hear the, you can barely hear the,
speaker discretion.
the come fly with me, but thank you for the resub, Mr. Leroy. 15-month resub, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
1999 Boston Center, squawk 4704.
Can't wait for the Cat 3 into Nantucket. Yeah, I don't know about Cat 3 there, but
20 tower, 128 good night.
she is big and she is beefy. She is loud too.
504, clear direct D Dave.
Let me know if it's too loud for you guys, chat. I haven't really tested this plane at all on the stream yet, so I don't know if the sound is too loud or not. I can barely hear the I can barely hear the freaking sound of the resub. That's how loud we are.
Number 3, Romeo Sierra, radar contact, climb and maintain 10,000, stay altitude leaving.
I'm maintaining 10,000, meaning 2,000 meters.
Sorry, I'm off here, Roger. Turn left back into navigation.
Sorry, step back here. Left.
Turn left, direct vapor, resume on navigation.
Left direct vapor on navigation.
Northwest 1999, radar contact over to set and maintain possible 230.
I don't crazy on 1990.
Boston and the third one, that isn't there, but can you say that again for me? Clear direct D, babe.
Cruising.
Clear direct D, babe, for the other thing.
It's nice and easy when the gyro pilot's doing all the work.
3043, descend via the Ocean 5 arrival, runway 15, right transition.
She is a noisemaker, though.
3037, more than 1 hour.
This is when the sim needs a smell-o-vision. Imagine the fuel oil and exhaust sense happening in there. Oh yeah, this thing is probably old and dirty. Probably smells it too, without a doubt. It's definitely not your run-of-the-mill airplane.
3043, radar contact.
Not your new fancy. Even though sometimes you get that smell in the new airplanes anyway. Just depends on, you know, how the systems are working and all that. You never know, but yeah, no, it'd probably be very old school, old-timey smell and feel in this thing without a doubt if you were in the actual airplane. Cruise along over Connecticut on our way to Nantucket.
Number 4, Mike Charlie, the Hartford altimeter 3034.
3-4, thanks. A little bit of an altimeter change there, so we'll let the airplane kind of figure that out. Hey Gresla, thanks for coming in today. Big beefy radials, chat. A little bit of discoloration in the sim right here. This is Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Don't see that a whole lot in this sim. A little bit of ortho disagreements. She is loud. No doubt about that. I almost feel like I need to turn the sim down, maybe just
Charlie,
a little bit.
Victor,
But you guys tell me,
chat,
you gotta tell me, do I need to turn down the noise of the sim a little bit for the engines, or am I good to go? Just got done with a refresher flight.
Okay, are
Very
you
nice.
able, downloads like a 10,000 feet, can you do 250 knots?
Affirmative, Victor Oscar.
Okay, Charlie, Victor, Oscar, I have a new route for you, just to change at the arrival, let me know when you're ready to copy.
So let me know, chat. Do I need to lower the volume of the sim a little bit, or what are we doing? How we feeling with it? Volume's good on that flight sim, dude. Seems okay. All right, no, I'll let her be.
Charlie, Victor, Oscar, after Albany, it'll be the Harp 3 arrival is Hotel Alpha Alpha Romeo Papa 3.
The only thing that I wasn't hearing very well was the
That's
my
arrival after Albany, Delta Victor Oscar.
my Streamlabs when someone was resubbing, it was really quiet. But I can go into the adjust that. Sound volume.
195 Kilo Tango on the ground at Hampton on the west ramp, requesting taxi, runway 11 for VFR.
We'll adjust them up.
Number 3, Romeo Sierra, climb and maintain 15,000.
I maintain 15,000.
For 195 Kilo Tango, Boston Center, runway 11. Taxi via Sierra Echo, cross runway 5 at Echo.
Taking a runway 11 via Sierra Echo, cross runway 5 at Echo.
I've adjusted the sounds on Streamlabs, so hopefully maybe we'll be able to hear it a little better next time someone does something.
At 10:35, we're going to be switching runways here, so I have another routing change. Let me know when you're ready to copy.
10:35, we can copy.
At 10:35,
all the circuit breakers are back here on this panel. Supposedly they're all clickable. Look at that. Yeah, we can scroll over and all of these circuit breakers are clickable on our panel back here, which is kind of neat. Oh, we got a little little peephole right here too. Look at that. Peephole up here. Fun fact, the engines on the DC-6 are the same used by the almighty Corsair. How about that? I did not know that. I don't know anything about these old planes though, really. I'm not exactly an aviation buff, chat. I'm not, in terms of like aviation history or aviation knowledge, I'm not an aviation buff. I like to fly airplanes, but I'm not a buff.
Thank you.
Without any stretch of imagination. How complicated is it to fly this? It's really easy. It's not too. Okay, I shouldn't say it's easy because it's not easy. I use a lot of this artificial flight engineer. I feel like it's almost impossible to fly it without using the artificial flight engineer. Like if you do it without this guy, it's super complicated. The manual is like 330 something pages long, and I know like guys like Rob Sherman. Slant Alpha Ventures. He's gonna go in there and he's gonna go through the manual and he's gonna do every single thing on his own without using this artificial flight engineer. And that guy is gonna be crazy for doing it. It's not terrible using the artificial flight engineer. It's not terrible. It's it took me a couple of tries to get it, and it takes you're gonna have to. I also recommend watching through all of those tutorial videos that PMDG has for this airplane. That was the only way I was able to figure this out. There's no way I could have learned this on my own or even with the manual probably. So PMDG tutorial for the DC-6. I keep saying 3 by accident. DC-6. I'm going to give you the link to that playlist. And then you're gonna want to watch through that. Like I watched through all of the videos. Like there's 20. You don't need to worry about using the. There's like one in there that says product deliveries installation. I'm not worried about that one. But the other 19 videos, I watched every single one of them all the way through. Sometimes a couple times through, trying to do it while also in the sim to kind of get a better idea of how just to fly this thing using those tutorials. So I recommend that playlist. And using the tutorials if you are going to use this to actually be able to get it up and off the ground without any mistakes, because I needed to. I had to go through all those tutorial videos just to be able to get this thing off the ground. So.
Alpha 504 is leaving my airspace. The air scanner is closed. Radar service terminated.
And yeah, you do have to be careful with the engines of this thing. The radial engines are very touchy. All these old radial engines, if you don't treat them appropriately or nicely, they will cause you great amounts of pain. Should just be coming up over the Hartford VOR here shortly. Actually, look at that. We're in the turn right now. There's the Hartford Airport is out over here. The VOR is to the south of the Ackler Airport. So we're in the turn. Going towards Groton now. We'll see her on our GPS over here. Yep, we're going from Hartford to Groton next. We got about 30 minutes left en route until we get to Nantucket. So about 30 minutes left until we get to Nantucket here, chat. And then let's go look at the weather in Nantucket again. It has updated. Oh, we're back into the VFR green here. It looks like 10 miles, few clouds, 2,800, broke 4,700, still doing ILS. 090 at 7 is the wind. So if the wind is 090 at 7, chat, what do we need to look at in terms of runway? Probably runway 6 with the wind 090. So if we're looking at runway 6, we're going to look at the ILS runway 6 here. So frequency 1091, final approach course 061. We'll make sure we have to tune and get that all set up in the aircraft so that we'll be able to have it shoot the approach. So 1091. So let me go ahead and get that set up and ready to go. 1091. So there's the 1091.
Diagram
Boom.
790.
Okay, so now that's set. So we don't forget about that. And then we'll be all set up to do that ILS approach here when we get over to Nantucket.
Number 3 Romeo Sierra, the key in altimeter 3032.
Up to number 3032.
Eric Flight says, type of checklist for the JP Logistics 152 mod right now, so that's as complicated as I'm going to get tonight. Hopefully added to the mod as they asked. Okay, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, this is a complicated bird. It's made a lot easier with this guy right here, and you guys will see when I'm ready to start a descent. I'm going to have him do the descent. He's going to set the descent power and everything. The airplane's going to start to slow down, all of that. So, you really, unless you're like super savvy or really like super hardcore into it, if you're just a casual flyer on the sim like me, then the artificial flight engineer is your best friend when it comes to this right now.
4649, contact Mountain Center 132.2. Contact. Thanks. Here.
Had a partial equipment failure here related to pressurization.
Let's go back to those wing views.
Maintain 10,000 and let me know if you require.
So nice. I think some of the other fixed camera views, you have like the engines. You got behind the wings. That's kind of neat right there. We'll do that for a little bit.
Number 3 Romeo Sierra, are you declaring an emergency?
Negative.
Shadow Marth 1, thanks for coming in today. I haven't seen you in a while. I got VATSIM. If you remember, you asked, it's really fun. I'm glad to happy to have you aboard VATSIM, man. Happy to see you in the stream. I have not been streaming a whole lot because I have been back to work full time. So it's hard for me to get streams in when I'm working full time and commuting to Dallas as well. And then also I was just sick the last week. The last 7 days I pretty much was just spent sick. I had a sinus infection that required antibiotics to treat. So I haven't been streaming because of that either. So it's just been kind of a combination of a lot of things, but I just haven't been able to stream as much as I was during the pandemic really. But happy to see you, man. Glad you're on VATSIM now. Glad you're having fun with it.
For my Charlie, the Block Island altimeter 3037.
3037. Do I go back to work on Monday? No, I'm on vacation now. So that, you know, unfortunately, I didn't really want to call out sick, but that sick time has led me right into now my vacation. So I do not work again until July 10th is my next scheduled trip. Because now now I hold the line, chat. So now I have scheduled trips. I'm not on reserve anymore, which is good. It helps my schedule a lot. It helps the planning a lot. But I'm off until July 10th now because of vacation. So that's good, at least for that. I'm going to be going to Pittsburgh with the new lady friend on Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to be out in Pittsburgh with the new lady friend. We're going to come back Wednesday in the evening, and then I have the Flying Club event that I'm hosting on Thursday, July 1st, so I will be back for that that Sunday evening. But I'm going to try and stream a handful of times while I have this time off. You guys got me tonight. I might stream again tomorrow night. It's actually probably a pretty good chance that I stream again tomorrow night. But then after tomorrow night or Saturday, one or the other, I'll be gone, like I said, on that little trip to Pittsburgh. And then after that, I'll try and stream at least a few more times before I go back to work on July 10th. So we'll be able to get a few in here and there before I go back. But yeah, I'm off until 10th, which is kind of nice. Like I said, I'm bummed I had to call out sick this week. It sucked, but I was sick, chat. Thankfully, it wasn't COVID part 2. That would have been terrible. That would have been just awful. But it was a pretty bad sinus infection that I was dealing with there for a while. Needed a full course of antibiotics to kind of get out of my system. Even now, I'm still a little bit, you know, sniffly, but I think my voice is back to normal pretty much now. And today's the best I've felt in a long time, you know, prior to that. So we're all good now. It was just rough there for a little bit. Coming up over Groton, Connecticut. Now we'll be going over water here. There's Groton. Guantanamo Bay, as we used to call it. And oh, we can see the Wex Weather Force is throwing in a little weather for us finally as we come up over Groton. Slowly creeping its way in. Yeah, Pittsburgh. You guys are probably thinking, man, what a weird place to go on vacation, just going to Pittsburgh. But I used to live in Pittsburgh when I was working that charter job a few years ago, and I haven't been back since I moved out. And it was a great city. I loved living in Pittsburgh, and I miss it. So I figured I got the time off now. Going to take a nice little road trip out with the lady friend. She has never been to Pittsburgh before, so I'm going to be able to go and show her all the spots that I like, show her all the good parts of the city of Pittsburgh. For a few days while we're out there, and that'll be really the first time we really have a chance to kind of have a good amount of alone time together as well, Chad, since we started dating. So it's going to be a nice trip. I think it's going to be great for both of us, and it'll be good nostalgia for me. It'll be nice to get back into Pittsburgh, which I really felt right at home in Pittsburgh the 2 years that I lived there, and I love the city. So I'm very much looking forward to getting out there with her.
WestJet 557 Boston Center, climb and maintain.
20 north of the city. Nice. I don't know, you're probably pretty familiar then. When I lived in Pittsburgh, I lived just south of the city proper.
When able for direct Nantucket VOR.
Direct Nantucket VOR for Mike Charlie. So I believe the VOR is right on the field, chat. So I'm just going to go, it's a little off the field, but I'm just going to go direct to the airport, and we're going to call it close enough. And I think the controller is going to see that it's close enough. So we're just going to go direct to our destination here instead of the actual VOR. So I'm too lazy to put the actual VOR in. And again, it's going to have to do. It'll be close enough, chat. So we're going direct to Nantucket. So I lived in the town of Mount Lebanon, in the South Hills there, NYARTCC controller. So I don't know if you're familiar with that area. But that's where I lived for the 2 years when I was out there in Pittsburgh. I had a nice apartment there. I miss it. It was a great city. Pittsburgh is a great city. The sports team is trash. So, hey, I mean, so the 2 years, both years that I lived in Pittsburgh, that was the 2 years that the Penguins won the Cup in 2016 and 2017. It just happened to be both years that I was living in Pittsburgh that's the 2 years that the Penguins won the Stanley Cup. So, you know, I'm not saying it was, you know, my doing that they did that, but, you know. So now that we are direct to our destination, we know that we're about 19 minutes out. So we're going to have to do a descent here relatively soon, because this thing descends slow, and it slows down really slow. It takes a while for this aircraft to descend. So we're going to have to start planning our descent here fairly soon. Obviously, we have to wait for instructions from ATC and all that good stuff, but we are going to have to start planning our descent here relatively in relatively short order, I should say.
Number 224, roger, disregard. 0224, are you able to fly the Ocean 5 arrival, or do you want something else? Okay.
Especially since we're also getting at the ILS-6 chat, it looks like. We're doing a heading of like, what, 110 right now? So it's good. This is all going to happen pretty quick once we get over there. And you know what? Since we are doing the ILS-6, I should probably get this loaded up into our little GPS here. Select approach, ILS-6, transition. We'll do this one. We'll load it. Oh, no, no, don't go, no, 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 no. Go towards Nantucket, like we talked about airplane. Don't start turning on me now.
For 4167, Tango, Boston Center, climb and maintain by level 210.
And we're in the clouds.
210.
We're in the soup. What is the temperature? We gotta see if we need to turn our icing on. I don't even know where the temperature gauge is in this airplane. Oh, crap. I have no idea where the temperature gauge is on this thing. So I don't know if we're gonna get icing or not. That's pretty awkward. We have plenty of anti-ice fluid if we need it. I just don't know where, I don't know where the temperature gauge is on this thing. Oh boy. Alright. Well, this is gonna be awkward. We'll see if we start building up ice or not. Not seeing any ice yet, just looking outside in the sim there, so that's good. But I have no idea where the temperature gauge is in this airplane. This is kind of brutal. Chat, I have no idea.
Delta 82, contact Moncton Center 132.2.
Well, we're on a wing and a prayer now because I have no idea what the temperature is. The OIT gauge is on the center panel mixed in with the ending gauges.
Manchester altimeter 3034.
Copy.
Second 734, contact Moncton Center 132.2.
I'm not seeing any temperature gauge. I'm also not seeing any ice building up on our windscreen or anything like that in the sim, which means we should be good to go. If we saw it building up on the windscreen in the sim, that's how we know we need to turn it on. Oh, free air, here we go. This is probably it. Looks like we're just right at that 10 degrees Celsius, so technically we could be getting ice, but it doesn't look like we are accumulating any ice, so that's good.
Number 412, Quebec Lima.
Got it.
Cleared to Montreal Airport via radar vectors Marconi that has filed.
We should be alright, chat.
Maintain 2,000. Expect 14,000. 10 minutes after departure. Frequency 134.7.
You guys can see that I've really learned this airplane great. I have a firm grasp of what I'm doing in this thing, chat. Clearly.
412 Quebec Lima, Squawk 4756.
Clearly.
Go to Montreal, radar vectors to Marquis, file. I'll climb 2,000 after departure up to 14,000, and then after departure. Departure will be 147.
Number 2 Quebec Lima, read back correct. Nantucket altimeter 3038, runway 6, advisory evacuate.
3038, and we'll call back to thank you.
Just open the window and stick your finger out, exactly. Get it wet a little bit. Gotta wet it a little bit first, stick it out there, see if it freezes.
Number 4 Mike Charlie, Nantucket altimeter 3038, expect ILS runway 6 approach unless you want something else.
Expect ILS 6 for Douglas 124 Mike Charlie. ILS-6 we've planned for, chat. Frequency set. Airplane's gonna do it, hopefully. Titanium Druid, thanks for coming in today, my friend. Good to see you, sir. Welcome back to the channel. We have not died yet in the DC-6. Yet. We're definitely not at our destination yet. So, there's still time. There's still time for death. But for now, we're making it. We're doing it. We're doing it something. I don't know if we're doing it right or not, but we're doing something. Work is getting better, only 11 hours. Oh my goodness, man. You are just a machine right now at work, it sounds like, from all of what you're doing, so. The weather is adjusting here. And suddenly we went from being in the clouds to being in the clear. Okay. I still have my doubts about how reliable our X-weather force is. Still very much have doubts. I don't think this is what we should be seeing weather-wise, but that's okay. It makes the view a little prettier. Got Connecticut, Massachusetts all down here. Waving from the ground. Hey, buddy. Got Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, that whole shoreline going on over here right now. So we should probably be getting a descent fairly soon. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put us into the descent check here now, chat, so we can start slowing down.
26 inches, please. Setting 26 inches.
This is going to start to slow us. Get ready for an eventual descent.
26 inches.
224. Okay, do you have the runway transition programmed in, or do you want vectors from an earlier point?
Altimeters and flight instruments cross-checked. Seatbelt signs on. On.
Do you have the runway transition on the arrival, sir?
Descent
okay,
checks are complete.
Alright, so our descent check is complete. So we'll kind of just hold this now. That'll help to slow us down a little bit here. As we get ready for our descent. Hopefully in a little bit here. Give us a slower speed. So that way we don't want to be hauling butt in there because this thing takes forever to slow down.
For my Charlie, turn 10 degrees right, descent file discretion, maintain 3,000.
10 right down to 3,000 for my Charlie. Alright, so now this is where things get complicated. So we gotta go and turn this off. We gotta go 10 right, so we want to go to a 120 heading. So I'm just gonna turn this a little bit so that we can turn to this 120 heading.
Number 67 Tango, clear direct to it.
Direct to it,
That should hold us right there on our 120 heading. And now we want to descend. So we'll take the altitude control off, and now we're gonna descend down to 3,000. So we're gonna pitch our nose down here. Start our descent. We'll do 1,000 feet a minute. And we'll start down at 3,000.
1999 fly, present heading, descend and maintain 3,000.
3,000.
And this is where I will now turn off the artificial flight engineer so that I can control our throttle here in the descent. But we don't need as much power as it had set while we're doing this descent. So that way we can still kind of reduce our speed.
224 descend via the ocean.
We're going to hold about 70 on the BHEP.
22 left, transition to Boston, altimeter 3038.
Actually, we'll take it right to 60. That way we can start to slow up here. This plane must have been a gold mine for companies that made gauges. Yeah, these steam gauges were the way to go back then. They didn't have all that fancy glass. This was the aviation way, man. I almost wish I was born 50 years so I have a chance to fly one of these monsters. Sometimes I do feel that way, Purdue engineer, and then sometimes I don't. I kind of enjoy having all the fancy technology that I have right now flying the Embraer 175 IRL versus this. This just seems like it would have been a hell of a lot of work. And, you know, maybe I'm just lazy, but I like having the technology today. But there's also a part of me that would have been like, man, it would have been cool to be able to just be like, right on the forefront of like the pioneer of aviation, flying these aircraft, especially when they were like all new, getting into the, you know, these big engines and going longer places. Then eventually the jet age and flying all those aircraft and everything. It must have been a really really fun time to be a pilot, without a doubt. Dangerous for sure and complicated, but fun as well to be a pilot in that time.
For my Charlie, fly heading 110.
Heading 110 for my Charlie. Oh, we're drifting off course here, chat. Let's get back on a heading. We're going to go heading 110. I did not notice that we were drifting off course as much as we were.
Boston Center, hello, Delta 2258, Mayday. Our identification is broken.
Delta 2258, Boston Center, roger, radar contact. You'll be quick to the Boston Airport via radar vectors.
Let's try and do a better job now. I'll have to keep my scan going, see if I can do a better job of getting the wings level here and actually maintaining a 110 heading instead of drifting off like we did this now.
Alright, we'll do that, 2258.
That is 1035, descend and maintain 4000.
Looks like we got our wings level here, so the wind could also be a factor. I just have to do a better job of paying attention to it since Gyro Pilot all it does is hold the wings level or turn the way that we have it. So on this 110 heading, hopefully this will be a little bit better.
1999, turn left heading 250, join the local roger.
250,
Delta 2190, Boston Center, clear direct robot, clock and maintain flight level 210.
Direct robot, send 210, Delta 2190.
So I'm really gonna have to focus in now, chat, on this whole approach, landing, everything. So.
We're going to be flying at this time.
Okay. Delta 2058, do you require any assistance?
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this also, before I forget, put this back into the VLOC chat, so that way the ILS will pick up on that 1091. So that way when the time comes, we'll be able to intercept the localizer and the glide slope. So you can see nav VLOC right here highlighted. Get ready for that part of the flight. Coming through 5,000 feet right now.
22 left.
Oh, sorry about that.
For 67 Tango, descend and maintain flight level 190.
Descend 190, 676.
Northwest 1999 is a mile from Wayne. Maintain 3,000 till established. Cleared ILS for make 22 left approach.
Cleared ILS into the left and also west 1990.
At 1035, turn right heading 130, maintain 3,000.
Right 130, maintain 3,000.
Northwest 1999, 170 knots or greater, rebuild Mills, contact tower 128.8.
70 or greater down Mills is clear. 2880, good night.
So we're almost coming up to our altitude here. We're going to slow our descent very shortly. That'll also help us to start finally slowing down. How am I doing heading-wise? Looks like I'm holding the 110 heading this time, chat, so maybe I just had the turn coordinator not perfectly centered the last time. Haven't died yet. Still,
At 1035, fly heading 190.
we're hanging in there.
90 to join the local.
Delta 2258.
Start bringing that nose up.
Show our speed on your radar thing.
Delta 2058, I'm showing you 250 knots. That's ground speed though, not indicated.
Okay, thank you.
Zebra 224 heavy, Boston altimeter 3038, expect ILS from a 22 left approach.
So once we get to that 3,000, we'll get our altitude control back on. Right about there, we'll do it. Now we're going to see our speed start to slow down, and then we need to wait for, we need 174 knots for the flaps from 0 to 30 degrees.
November 412 Quebec Lima, taxi runway 06 minutes.
So we'll start getting the flaps in here shortly.
2 Quebec Lima, runway 6, back to the echo.
We'll go to flaps 20 here once we get slow enough. 170, so we can start bringing the flaps in, so I'm going to start bringing the flaps in. I will bring my
At a 1035,
back
2
to
miles,
the
correction,
90.
1 mile from Wayne, maintain 3000, still established, cleared ILS from 822 left approach. Delta 2258, fly heading 035, are you ready for the approach?
035, and I believe so. Hold 2258.
Number 67 Tango.
Let's do it in range.
Cooling turbine. Normal.
Number 67 Tango, cross Jewett, at and maintain 1000, the Providence altimeter 3037.
Cross Stewart at 1000,
On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on. Crossfeed off. Hydraulic bypass valve.
Delta 2190, this is required.
No smoking signs.
Delta 2190.
On.
Edge, wait to direct roading.
Complete.
Delta 2190, clear direct roebuck.
Oh, now our flaps are moving.
Delta
We only want to be
2190,
at
clear
flaps
direct
20,
roebuck.
so...
They're direct roebuck. I want to know if there's interest to go direct to Pro-V, that's Papa Romeo, Oscar Victor, India.
There we go, flaps 20.
Negative.
Alright.
I see roebuck.
At a 1035, Boston Tower 12818, good night.
Don't want to get too slow now either.
Delta 2258, are you ready for the approach, sir?
Oh, yes, we are 2258.
Measured, I'm showing you 214 knots over the ground now.
Alright. We're just waiting for more instructions here.
For 4 Mile Charlie, descend and maintain 2000.
2,000 for my Charlie. So we'll go ahead and turn our altitude off again. We'll start the nose down for 2,000.
Number 2 Quebec Lima, sorry, say again.
Yeah, I could just reaffirm the Nantucket pressure study, please, thank you.
3038.
308.
We're doing it. Should have the G's meter should be on, chat. So if you want, let me just double check that it is on. It is okay, perfect. So the G's meter's running, chat. So eventually you will be able to guess the landing rate for this beast when I get closer to actually landing time. So be ready for that. This descent coming a little bit rapider pace. Oh, we're not on the approach yet, it's not yet, but...
224 heavy, fly heading 270, descend and maintain 6000.
Okay, fly heading 270 and descend and maintain 7000.
So we're gonna roll this up as we get close to our 2,000 feet.
Delta 2258, fly heading 130.
So we do have that blue light which says the approach is ready, chat. So we will be ready to intercept the approach once we're given the instructions to do so. There's our altitude, it's close enough right there. So that blue light.
Climb and maintain flight level 380.
Approach ready.
Number 67 Tango, cross wounds at and maintain 7,000.
So it's on, so the approach is ready. So when we get the tall to clear for the approach, we'll just switch this over to the approach mode for the Gyro Pilot, and it should hold for us.
Number 2 Quebec Lima, fly runway heading, runway 6, quick takeoff.
Runway heading 6, skip.
Too much power on the engines there.
Quebec Lima, thank you.
Number 4 Mike Charlie, 3 miles from Craig, fly heading 090, maintain 1,700 to establish localizer, cleared ILS, remain 6 approach.
0902 to establish cleared ILS 6, Douglas 4 Mike Charlie.
1,700 to establish.
1,700 established 4 Mike Charlie. So 1,700 to establish. So there's the 090.
130.
We'll go down to that 1,700.
Delta 2190, descend via the Roebuck 3 arrival, runway 22 left, transition to Providence altimeter 3037.
That's via the Roebuck 3 arrival, and you said 22 left transition?
Affirmative.
So here it comes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go approach, because the needles are coming in. We're going to have the airplane now fly the approach.
Boston Center, American 1043 wind, flight level 22. American 1043.
And are you going to fly the approach
Boston
airplane?
Radar contact, climb and maintain 14,000. Maintain 14,000, American 1043. Super 224 heavy, fly heading 290, descend and maintain 4,000.
Guess not. So, and then when that doesn't work, we'll do before landing. And we're going to go ahead and turn the Gyro Pilot off and do this by hand.
208 is what I'm showing.
20 flaps set.
Number 2 Quebec Lima, radar contact to altitude.
Passing appears to be 400 feet now.
Since it did not capture the approach for us,
158 heading 190.
we will do it ourselves.
Boston Center, November 105 Kilo Tango, 5 miles west of Canada.
There we go. Coming back in.
Number 195 Kilo Tango, Boston Center, make straight in, runway 11, clear to land.
Straight in 11, clear to land.
Down and locked in 3 greens.
Number 4 Mike Charlie,
300 RPM.
wind 100 at 7, runway 6, clear to land.
6 clear to land, Douglas 124 Mike
300
Charlie.
RPM set. Cow flaps. Plus 3 degrees. Cow flaps set. ADI. ADI off. ADI is off. Miami lights.
Delta 2058, turn right heading 220, report the field site.
Let's go ahead and get better aligned here.
Delta
chat.
2058 heading 220, report the field site. Delta 2058, clear visual approach, runway 22 left.
Lights extended at 1. Norby. Call me, call.
Go ahead and put your landing requests in.
Boston Center, radar contact, turn right direct Rochester.
Alright, so the before landing check's complete, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that so that I can have control of the power here.
Number 2 Quebec Lima, direct Marconi, climb maintain 10,000. Number 2 Mike, correction, number 2 Quebec Lima, clear direct
Coming in
Marconi,
probably a little bit faster than I should be. So I'm going to start bringing that power back. Still trying to get myself aligned with the runway a little better here.
3038, ILS 22 left.
3038, ILS 2 left.
Delta 2258, contact tower 12818.
We are clear to land.
Stand by.
Ooh, a little bit firm, but not too bad. Now we got to come down here, get rid of that thing so that I can put it into reverse. boom. We're done.
Super 224
Excellent.
Heavy, descend and maintain 3000.
Now we got this tiny little taxiway that we can exit on. So the landing was a little awkward, but 210, not terrible.
Number 3,
Kitty
Romeo
Monster's gonna be the
Sierra.
closest with that.
Actually, sorry, number 3, Romeo Sierra, contact Portland approach. 119.75.
For my Charlie's clear taxi to the FBO.
Before my Charlie, echo to parking, good night.
I got a parking seat. So start his after landing process here. While we taxi on in. See if we can find any room in this ramp.
Descend 43,
Might not be any room for us here.
Maintain flight level 340 for breaking temperature. What's
Tell
your
you what,
557,
we're just
descend
gonna-
off discretion, maintain flight level 240.
Pilot discretion, descent in flight level 2.
Go right here.
WestJet flight 57.
Right in front here.
2190 balls and altimeter 30.
Is the wing gonna clear that TPM? Yes, it is. Alright, perfect. We just go right over the top of that guy. We'll go right and park in front here with our big beefy bird. Not exactly a great landing. I think I cut the power a little too soon, chat. I think that was the big thing, is that I pulled the power out a little bit too soon. But we'll go ahead and stop right here. Set the park brake. Go ahead and put the gust lock back on. And we'll do a parking check.
Number 224 Heavy, heading 250 on the localizer.
And I'm going to disconnect from VATSIM. I'm done with him. He's going to start the process. The artificial flight engineer start the process of shutting off all the engines. Turn the music back on since it's getting quiet in here. Look at that. We made it, chat. Now we can go and do, like, throw a little door on it. So let's see. Let's go ahead and front cabin stairs. Front cabin exit, front cabin stairs. We can open up the cargo doors. All that stuff. A little engine oil panel, torpedo covers, wheel chocks. All that fun stuff. Look at that. Now we can climb on out and dump whatever cargo we brought from Stewart to Nantucket in our beautiful little DC-6. Well, look at that. I didn't die, chat. Okay, that's pretty good. It's only the 4th time I've flown it. Now I've survived 3 out of 4. There was only the one time that I crashed. And actually, my buddy Sean was watching me when I crashed it that one time when I VMC rolled it on a final approach. I don't know why the approach didn't work. I've had it where it's worked in the past couple flights where I turned it to approach when everything, and I don't know what happened this time. So I'll have to keep working on it and keep, figuring this out and get it right the next time. But that's what hand flying is for. It wasn't exactly my best approach, and it wasn't exactly the smoothest of landings, but I didn't break the airplane, so, points for that, right, chat? I get points for that, right? Not breaking it? Something like that? I don't really fly these kind of airplanes. God only knows I'm not built to fly these kind of airplanes, so. But alright, that's going to do it for me. Short and sweet tonight, because I'm coming off of being sick. I just wanted to get a nice DC-6 flight in on the stream finally. Appreciate all you guys for stopping by and watching. Coming back to the stream. Like I said, I know I haven't been streaming a whole heck of a lot. Just because I'm back to work full time and I was sick a little bit there too, so that really didn't help anything at all. But appreciate you guys stopping by, taking a look at me flying this DC-6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hand you off to my good friend and awesome streamer, Sim Caesar. Looks like he's doing some kind of GA flying. He says GA Thursday in a stream title. Let's see, what is he flying? Looks like he's flying a Cessna. Looks like he might be flying the 152 on Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Oh no, Aero. Microsoft Flight Sim Aero Action is what it says. So I'm going to give you guys a raid to the Sim Caesar channel. absolutely fantastic entertainer on Twitch. Go say hello to him for me. Guys, I know it's been a while, so thank you for coming in today. I appreciate it. Hope you guys had fun and enjoyed seeing me fly this thing. I'm not the best at it. Wait for Slight Alpha Adventures to go and do the whole 330-page manual and give you like the whole shebang with this thing. I'm sure that'll be quite entertaining. I'm looking forward to watching him do that too, honestly. If you do plan to fly this thing, follow the tutorials, the PMDG tutorials on their YouTube channel. That's the only way I was able to kind of figure it out off stream before then doing it for you guys today. Anyways, thanks for coming in today. Have a great night. Stay safe. Let me get that raid going for you guys.